Hi, am I live or am I Memorex? Okay, this is a by request video on behalf of someone I actually haven't met. And the question is, how can I stop getting disarmed when I'm using go nows or long swords because I keep getting disarmed? That brings us back to your grip matters. Now, I can't give this person direct advice on how to hold the saber because I don't know what lineage, what method they're studying. But let me go back to a few things, and there's a prior Grip Matters video. You can pull a search for it, it's no big deal. Couple things to be aware of in terms of your grip. The fist grip is preferred for weapons handling manuals. Notice I specify that differently from fencing manuals, specifically because it's very hard to get disarmed. You may need a grip like this in order to do your method. And the go now is a nice combination of just barely long enough to let you do that, assuming you're not wearing a giant gauntlet. Impact here with a foam thing is not such a big deal, right? So how do you cross that Rubicon? Now if I'm playing Radaeli and I have a pitch grip here, and this is resting on my hypothenar eminence. If that's too thick, it rests on the thenar eminence. Either way, it's a very strong grip. But what if you're here and you take a hard shot this way and it's going to oppose your thumb? Well, we have answers for that, and one of those answers is called a yielding parry or a ceding parry. So I'm going to ask Kat to come over and grab a go now, and she's going to whack my stick really, really hard. Hi, Kat, would you like to come over here and I guess throw a left-handed cut one at me, at my stick really, really hard? So we have diagnosed the problem. This is what we do not want.
Grr, I am mighty.
Same grip. Would you like to do it again?
Sure.
Okay. What did this get her?
Oh no.
What did this get you?
Dead.
Dead. D-I, diddly-I, dead.
Yay. Wait.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the reasons beginners tend to get disarmed a lot is that they have this idea that a block has to be grr, r, block. It doesn't have to be. And in HEMA in particular, since we're evolving, yay, frog DNA, we're pulling ourselves out of the swamp, but we still have a significant quantity of people who think that you're not fencing and that you're just a quiet sipping your tea with a tiny spoon schlub if you're not literally putting all of your physical strength into every buffalo-like swing, because they attach to that one line and use it to justify clubbing each other like baby harp seals. You don't have to block like that. You can, in point of fact, when someone's being a buffalo and swing really bloody hard, and I'm assuming this is the case because you describe it happening in both saber and longsword. If someone were using intentional disarm techniques in longsword, it would probably look different. When someone gives you lots of force, come on over, Kat. Now we're going to steal a page from a TV show that predates most of you being alive called The $60 Million Man. She's going to take her hand, she's going to throw a slow cut one. Oh no, a crappy middle line. She tried to fix it for me because she's really nice, but no, it's right here. Oh no, what happens here? Well, if she's swinging a regular force blow and I yield this to first, what happens to all her buffalo-ness? Your buffalo friends are going to stop wanting to buffalo real quick, because what happens when this happens, I'll do it. Kat has never been taught this technique. She's going to parry one and then yield into the hand guard. Boom, and then there it is I go, oh shit, I got yielded out, and I come back into some guard position because I know from here nothing good happens to me, right? Dead. You are probably trying to actually physically stop their force. Now, this is a shot in the dark. If you are not having that problem, And it's not a case of yielding to buffaloes. Note, all of HEMA stand. You want to get rid of the buffalo problem? Put yielding parries into your repertoire. They exist in the sources. I can walk that duck through almost every source, even back to Lecküchner and the medieval stuff I used to work with. Problem 2. Cut one again. Give me a good strong hit. Give me a good whack the shit out of it like that. Or scooch back. Okay, go ahead, give me a real hit.
Okay.
Uh-oh, look what happened. I'm in trouble. Same hit, same power. Something different, right? Do it again. Really beat the shit out of the buffer. And again. Uh-oh, same problem. Oh look, I can reproduce this problem. Therefore, that means something specific is going on. That something specific is, this is not steel. If you're using a boffer and thinking of this as the front, that's great. But this corner functions similarly to the edge bevel on a metal saber. So if you're using a boffer, you may, without realizing it, be giving people the corner of this blade, which is the equivalent of letting a steel saber roll onto the bevel and begin to capture the flat. If that happens, I just smack it. You have no mechanical leverage to speak. And if it's happening to you in longsword and saber, chances are you're not actually maintaining good edge alignment. You should be able, and here I become identified as part of the crowd for one of the dumbest debates ever, so please don't actually put me in that crowd. You should be able to take a whippy yardstick of a fetter and block any blow you want. Come on, this way, so the camera can see it. As long as you get the right part of the saber on the right part of the blade. A colleague out in Taiwan has recently just demonstrated longsword cuts being blocked with a modern fencing saber. Guarantee you, they'd fail every time if that blade was here. In fact, even in modern Olympic fencing, cuts blowing through guards, diagnosis did not actually align the blade to the incoming blow, because you're dealing with an oval or this funny hilltop shape where the fuller goes, or a rectangle, and there's no vacation from physics. Now, quick recap on different ways to do your grip effectively. This way tends to be favored by British saber guys because the bulb here makes it really convenient to grab this and to take pressure on and off the back part. So understand that if you have that bulb, that grip is going to encourage this. It's really practical, it's really functional, there's no reason not to do it with those grips. A more Renaissance style of cutting, or with the East Central and Eastern European sabers, where you've got something that sticks out here at the back. The square pommels the French and British guys tend to hate so much, pop, right there. You lock it in and you simply swing. This has lots and lots and lots of power because you're locked into the tail end of the lever arm. Block. Parry 5. I'm going to cut head. Parry 5. If she's not ready for it, all that momentum transfers right into the blade. Do it again. This time catch me with the edge rather than the flat. See the difference? Our lineage tends to hold here. So pop, 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 pop. If you're here and holding with a thumb grip, you are vulnerable to getting disarmed. That's the reason why the cavalry manuals say never do this. Some cavalry manuals say never do this. Do this instead so you can't get disarmed. Others change the shape depending on what they're doing, the French ones especially. They'll do this for cutting and this for thrusting, which makes sense because look how much support I have here. I can do foil stuff with a heavy ass saber from here because it's still just a stick. It's still just a lever, no vacation from physics, and we can weaponize that to our advantage. Many Hungarian manuals will hold the saber from down here with the fingers locked into the basket, which is a slightly different angle than the Gonows have. So sometimes that pinky will come up with the modern replicas, and I get to make a cut one that comes this way. Looks very different, looks very medieval. That's not an accident. Arming sword grips are often very similar. You look at the old high medieval manuscripts from the Ottonian Renaissance, You'll see lots of cut like this, and it's not an accident. That pinky is basically off the pommel. So at any point, you have to think of, where is my source of support for the action? Here, classic thumb grip. Here, hypothenar eminence for the Italian grip. Here, for the Hidan Hussar lineage. By the way, I'm starting to specify that because there are other Hussar lineages out there. I know 2 or 3 Hungarians who also had grandparents who were drill instructors who got taught different things. Similar blade work, different stance. Here, and the squeezy thing that you tend to see more in the back sword and British saber stuff, even if it's not explicit in the source because it's just really convenient for that hilt type. Locked in here, and the big swing. All of them are really, really functional, but all of them are dependent on, you must have support in order to perform an action. So, for those of you who like body mechanics stuff, here's an aside. Everything you do is a whole body action. Yes, those of you in the audience who are getting ready to scream into the comments, stuff it. I'm right, you're wrong, I'm gonna die on this hill. If I so much as reach for my coffee cup, certain parts of my skeleton and my muscles have been organized for ability, for shape change. All the rest of them are organized to support that action. Because if they don't, I do this, and my coffee fills on the floor, and I have a sad fills on the floor. That's a great way of demonstrating that we need coffee.
It'll be a lot of coffee.
Be a lot of coffee. Come on in, just make sure you're fully in frame.
Okay.
I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second.
Oh boy.
You have wrist injuries related to being an artist and painting and stuff.
Yes.
Not shockingly surprising, actually. Most of the clients I work with, or that I try to work with, are actually manual laborers, because my mission is to keep them in their career as long as possible. The guy who wrote Kitchen Confidential had horrible injury to this finger and this finger because of using a whisk wrong in the kitchen. And if that sounds silly, imagine using a whisk wrong for years on end while working chef hours. Any chef in the comments can comment about the ridiculous hours they work. So given that situation for you, you are always in danger of a disarm, and you're always in danger of your wrists getting torqued.
Yes.
If you have a lighter build and a lighter musculature and a lighter frame, as you do, I'm average, she's light, what do you do to avoid getting your blade knocked the hell out of your hand?
That's a great question. Frankly, what happens a lot is the blade gets knocked out of my hand, or I reposition my whole body rather than relying just on this, because I know this is unreliable. But if I move my feet and change the relation between myself and my partner, then I can reframe the question.
Yes, and that is exactly what she does. We're gonna demonstrate it right now.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna hit your stick really hard twice.
Okay.
One of them, I want you to get your body behind the blow and align yourself correctly. The other one, I want you to just be in a position and throw the hand up the way you would if you weren't being super conscious about it. In either case, if you have to let the blade go for safety, let the blade go. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw one kind of at your blade. So come into a guard position like you intend to parry a cut one. Okay, so she's starting her opposition parry. No, she went back to middle parry. Okay, she's starting her opposition parry. Here comes one. Okay, what happened? Let's see it again. Dramatic difference? What's the difference? Tell the camera. You're the one who did it.
So the first time, and you could probably see my blade still in loik, but I was trying to have good structure behind the block, so my entire body was making the block. The second time I was like, nah.
When you form a parry position matters. Grip matters, geometry also matters. If I hang out here, or I'm coming in like this and coming around, if I need to be here to stop that blow, and I am here to stop that blow, they have my flat, I'm getting expelled and or disarmed. And if I get dispelled like that really hard, all of this gets torqued, my only choice is get injured or get disarmed. Since your body doesn't want you to get wrecked, usually the answer is get disarmed. So, If you are the person for whom this video was actually intended, rather than the person I know, and I have missed the boat on the two things most likely to be contributing to this problem, hit me up in the comments. And if it turns out I need to cover something else, I will make a special video just to take care of that, because we want lots of sword friends who last a very long time. Cool? All right, we'll run to the camera, so
Cool.
you can wave at people and tell them to do the thing.
Yeah, go do the thing safely.